Hello, everyone. My name is Emily Coombs, and today I'm going to be talking to you and informing you all about the Asteroidea, aka the Sea Star. So, I've included a table of contents page just to give you guys a layout of my presentation. So, first thing, taxonomy. So, taxonomy is pretty much just the study that classifies species into groups and then broken down into even smaller divisions. These groups that are broken down into the even smaller divisions are based off of characteristics that they share. The kingdom and domain are the highest levels of the taxonomy scale. The sea stars, Asteroidea, are in the kingdom of Animalia, which are all animals on the planet. Any animal that is a multicellular eukarya, which means they have a nucleus, are in those two. Getting closer to the sea star, we move into the next level, which is the phylum. The sea stars are the part of the Echinodermata. Echinodermata are only marine species. These species have bilateral symmetry, and an interesting component is their ability to regenerate. So next I'm going to be talking about a little bit of basic information. So now that you know about the taxonomy of the sea star, we can talk a little bit more about common information that some of you may already know. Sea stars are invertebrates, which means they do not have a backbone. These species can live up to a whopping 35 years. They can range from being 4.7 to 9.4 inches and can weigh up to 11 pounds. There are over 2,000 species of sea stars that live in the oceans. They are referred to as a star because of their 5-point symmetry, which I have inserted a little diagram up at the bottom right-hand corner. And because of their 5-point symmetry, they're known as a star shape. Although the sea star is most commonly called a starfish, even though it is not a fish, these sea stars do not have gills, scales, or fins, which is a common characteristic that most fish share. The top two images are just two different kinds of sea stars that you can see. All right, next is body structure. So the sea stars have tube-like feet that contain cells specialized for adhesion, which is sticking to rocks or corals. They have some amazing features to help them stay protected in the oceans. They have bony and calcified skin, which is able to protect them from many of their predators. They utilize camouflage as another way to protect themselves as well. Sea stars use seawater instead of blood to pump nutrients throughout their bodies, which is a very interesting thing to me. These amazing creatures are able to regrow parts of their bodies. If a leg falls off, no need to worry, it'll just grow back. These 5 arms give a new meaning to moving around the world. These sea stars also surprisingly do not contain a brain, but instead have a nerve ring around the center of the creature. This nerve ring acts as a station which coordinates the movement of these creatures. This crazy nervous system takes impulses from the light, touch, and chemical sensors around the body to protect themselves from predators. Next will be eating habits. Sea stars mainly feed on mussels and clams. If there's a high abundance of either mussels or clams, you should expect to see some sea stars laying around somewhere. Sea stars are able to extend their stomach out of their mouth over any digestible part of the prey. Interestingly enough, they can consume their prey from outside of their bodies. Sea stars use their tiny suction cup tube feet to pry open these clams or oysters. Once they are opened, the creature then uses their sac-like cardiac stomach to emerge from their mouth and ooze inside the shell. The stomach then envelops the prey to digest it, and finally will withdraw back into their body. I've seen videos and I've witnessed it myself in the aquaculture lab. It's a pretty interesting, pretty amazing thing to watch. Some threats. Sadly, like almost every other creature on this planet, sea stars do have threats. The water temperature has been changing, causing a decrease in mussel rates, which is the sea star's main source of food. The decrease in abundance of mussels isn't the only threat towards sea stars. There's also been an outbreak of a disease along the Pacific coast that has been affecting over 20 species. This is called the sea star wasting disease. This disease causes the loss of limbs which eventually disintegrate, leaving just a pile of white goo. The warmer temperatures cause the animals to get the disease quicker and become more susceptible to even worse conditions. Urchins have been eating a lot of their food, and which are making the sea stars more difficult to get the food, which is getting them more susceptible to the disease as well. This disease causes abnormally twisted arms, white lesions, deflation of arms in the body, limb loss and body disintegration, and leads the body to move and rest in abnormal positions. These sea stars can die in the span of either a couple days or even weeks. The increase in bacteria on the body reduces the amount of oxygen and basically causes the species to suffocate. The images on the right show the progression of this disease. This was taken on June 27, 2014 on Guemes Island in Washington. The images show just how fast the disease has affected the same sea star over a matter of 3 days. The images were taken 1 day apart to show just how serious and dangerous this disease is for the animal. Within 3 days, the animal has been seriously affected by this disease. The disease is causing the population of over 20 species of the sea stars to decline. Thank you very much for listening, and if you have any questions, let me know. Here's my